Another compelling game for 1 o'clock Eastern. The Bills at the Texans. The Stephon Diggs, second time this year he's playing one of his former teams. Buffalo is favored by 1 point. They got blown off the field by the Ravens, but they're otherwise undefeated. The Texans at 3-1 as well. I'm a little surprised the Bills are favored, but again, they're favored by 1, 47.5. Bills, Texans, who you got?
Well, the biggest thing here right now that is like the Bills have an advantage and the Texans are maybe not capitalizing to the capacity we thought they would. The Bills' offense scores a lot of points, and their defense does not allow a lot of points, right? The Texans on offense, they gain more yards than the Buffalo offense, but they don't score a lot of points. And it's kind of the same thing with their defense. They let up less yards than Buffalo, but they do let up some points there. And that's always scary with Josh Allen at quarterback, because Josh Allen is the ultimate, hey, my stats weren't that good, but there was 4 plays to be had to have an explosive play or a touchdown today, and I was 4 for 4, and you're down 28, right? That's where they're amazing. Josh Allen is always scary that way. But I do think that the Texans are the better football team through and through. I think the Texans need to run the ball better, and if they can do that a little bit, like we saw last week, Buffalo is compromised in that type of game. It's when they get overpowered a little bit up front, they have issues. They're not a very good man-to-man football team, so they don't want to do that, and that will stress them out. I think the Texans get back to running the ball a little bit this week, but just enough to where it opens up their pass game. That's the big thing there. And with Buffalo, yeah, it's Josh Allen. And yes, they're more physical and they can run and do all that. But I don't look at this and go, oh, yeah, this is the week they're just going to overrun the Texans and get 150 yards rushing. No way. Let alone they have the speed in the front seven to corral Josh Allen and do that. I'm not a believer in the overall Buffalo offense yet. So I'm going to go Texans 30-27 here.
What a shock. What a shock. You hate the Bills. Why do you hate the Bills? I get that question all the time. Why does Chris hate the Bills?
You know that's not the truth, and you know one of my favorite players in the history of football is Josh Allen. So, but yes, I'm not believing in them totally as a team here right yet.
I look at the Texans and choose my words carefully here. And I had this realization the morning of the Texans-Vikings game after we had already made our picks, and I really wasn't sure whether it was wise and prudent to pick the Vikings to win the game. And the Vikings were underdogs in that game. And I started thinking about last year for the Texans. It's not like they were a team that beat a bunch of great teams. They took care of their business. They went 10-7. They won the games they were supposed to win. They lost the games, for the most part, they were supposed to lose. They haven't really done anything yet, signature victory style, that makes you say this is team that shows up and prevails against an elite team. They'll handle, and hey, it's hard to do because they're still NFL teams. They'll handle the teams they're supposed to handle. And so I look at this one as another example, and this is part of the growth that we either are or aren't going to see from C.J. Stroud. Is he going to become guy who can go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen? This is his chance to go toe-to-toe with Josh Allen. He was asked about it yesterday, and he just kind of downplayed the whole thing. I compete, all the cliches, I'm competing against myself. I think you need to have a sense of the moment, and you need to have a sense that this is a preview of the way that paths can cross in the postseason.
Sure.
And so I just, until I see the Texans do it,
yeah,
you're gonna
go with the other guy
toward the team that we've seen do it. Now I'm concerned. Khalil Shakir has an ankle injury and he didn't practice on Wednesday. And look, Nico Collins has 489 receiving yards. He's on pace to set the single season record. We still got 13 games to go. Still, Nico Collins and C.J. Stroud, a great connection. They're going to have to do something defensively. Von Miller's suspended for 4 games. Even though he's only taken 35% of the snaps, he's got 3 sacks in 4 games. They use him in the right spots, and he's effective when he's on the field, and he's gone for the next 4 weeks for a personal conduct policy violation. So I'm a little nervous about it. I think the fact that the Bills got embarrassed in primetime last week, and remember we were like, why is Josh Allen sitting? They lacked urgency. How the fuck do you not have urgency when you're going in to face a desperate Baltimore team in their own building? They'll have the urgency on Sunday. Bills will have the urgency, and I think the Bills will win the game by the score of 27-24. Could go either way. I'm not, this is not going to be a best bet. Not that it matters because our best bets are ass this year, but I'm not going to have the kind of faith necessary. But I do think the Bills win the game and get to 4-1.
Yeah, listen. I hear what you say about C.J. Stroud and the Texans and all of that. There's a part of me too that, again, the Bills, I know they're 3-1 and they were impressive in some of them, but I also am going, well, okay, the Dolphins have showed zero fight. Like if it's not a track meet, they don't even want to play football. And then, okay, Jacksonville is arguably the most dysfunctional team in football right now too. So that's where I'm a little unsure of the Bills a little bit here. And I look at the Bills and go, yeah, they want to run the ball and the Khalil Shakir thing and all that. Houston keeps a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage. Houston can play man-to-man. That's what's different about them, too. And that's where I think they got a little bit of an advantage here. And the Von Miller thing certainly went into my thinking as well, that they're not going to be able to pressure Stroud the way they want to, and the way they play zones, it's just going to have too much time. But I'm scared, and I'm with you, and it won't be my best bet, I don't think. That's for sure.
Stephon Diggs had 10
and
catches
he's got
for
that
94
too.
yards
Yes.
in his game against the Vikings, even though the final score was 34-7. Diggs is going to be ready to go.
No doubt.
Look, I don't know who's to blame for what happened between Diggs and the Bills. There's a hashtag long read on ESPN.com that goes inside the divorce between the Bills and Diggs. There's nothing in there that we didn't already know, and there's no magical answer in there. It goes both ways. And there's enough there for Diggs to get himself motivated and ready to go, and he will be. And maybe he'll be the difference in the game. I don't know. I still feel like the Bills are the team that is better suited for moments like this. The Texans have to prove that they are before I'll believe that they can do it on a regular basis.
Yo, homies, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's time. The NFL season is here on Chris Simms Unbuttoned.
You can hit subscribe to get all the weekly picks, plus our Sunday recaps as the games are happening.
Oh, you know it. Nobody does that better than us. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe. Peace out. We'll see you next time on Unbuttoned.